Hi everyone, I'm Jules, and today I will be walking you through the home office essentials you should have while working from home. So for decades now, people have spoken about a work-life balance. But let's be honest, chances are you spend more time at work than you do at home. And now with COVID not going away anytime soon, and with more and more people becoming comfortable with working from home, maintaining that work-life balance has become a challenge to many. You see, companies now recognize that having their employees work from home is making them more efficient. As a matter of fact, on average, a person working from home will work an extra hour per day more than they would at the office, naturally leading to greater amount of burnouts. But the good news is, with that said, and in efforts to maintain your sanity and avoid burning out, here are a few things that you can do. The first is to find a spot in your home that you can dedicate to work only. Make it your office, and this alone will allow for you to separate your work environment from your personal settings. You'll also want to make sure to avoid distracting and noisy areas like the kitchen or dining room table. Now, if you live alone, this may work, but the problem is what I found is that I was way too close to my fridge, which is not always a good thing. Now, the next step would be to divide up your home into designated spaces. So you'll have to discuss with your family and decide on who can adopt which part of the house as their designated workplace. Now, of course, this is going to be slightly more challenging if the children are younger than teenagers. So what we recommend you do is actually set a few fun activities to keep them occupied throughout the day. And this will also give you the opportunity to take hourly breaks when you go check up on them. So if you're single, dividing the space may be easier, but being isolated is detrimental to your mental health. So in that case, it's crucial to find a way to interact with others, whether it be your neighbors, your colleagues, your friends, or your family. Now, once that's taken care of, what you'll want to do is settle in a routine. So you may not be driving to work anymore these days, but it doesn't mean that you can't still go grab a coffee in the morning. And essentially, by creating a consistent routine, you create a habit that can help you maintain that separation between work and life, and in the long term, lead to less chances of a burnout. So now we're going to be expanding on your dedicated work area you now call the office. Let's start with the layout. So now let's assume that this is a possible layout for a room that you can dedicate in your home to be your new office. So the first things that I would like to point out are the two essential items. The first being a door, and the second being at least one window. The door should be there because it's what will allow for you to separate your work environment from your personal environment. And the window, well, that's more important for your morale or your mental health, and essentially it's known to make you more productive. So if you don't believe me, you could just do the following test. Work in front of a wall for one day and record how much you get done. Now do the same thing the next day, but do it in front of a window and then compare the results. And what you'll see is you'll be more productive with the window. We also recommend that you discuss ground rules with your family regarding your availability. Perhaps an open door means that you are working but are still available for them, and a closed door means that, well, you should not be disrupted. Next, we'll look into the furniture. So, if you're at your desk for a long period of time, you need to make sure that your desk is ergonomically friendly. This typically means buying a table that can be raised for you to work either standing up or sitting down, as it will help with your posture and it will avoid you cramping up. If you can't afford an adjustable desk, well, that's perfectly fine. We recommend investing in an adjustable laptop stand that you can simply place on top of the table you're already working on, and that will work just as fine. Now, if you get a desk, it's also worth investing in other great assets like a good anti-fatigue floor mat, a comfortable office chair, and maybe even a footrest to help with poor posture. Another piece of furniture that we recommend you purchase, if you have the space of course, is a cabinet. And this will allow for you to organize the clutter of all your papers, pads, folders, and other documents all in one area. If you cannot purchase a cabinet, well then we recommend getting a desk with drawers or just using a storage box to help keep everything organized in one area. Now that that's done, let's talk electronics. And when it comes to these, we want to start with your most vital piece, being your computer. So don't place it too close or too far, but position it just perfectly so that you can monitor your screen without being hunched over. Ideally, what you'll want to do is sit straight and then set up your computer accordingly. If you have more than one screen, set them next to each other to avoid continuously turning your head left and right. It's also worth investing in a wireless keypad and mouse so that you can position yourself however you'd like. Since we're all talking virtually now, make sure that your computer's camera is in good enough quality. If it isn't, then invest in a camera that makes sense to you. You should also look into wireless noise-canceling headphones if you're in a noisy environment. Now, the last two key electronics are printers and shredders, and even though everything is electronic nowadays, you can never rule out these two assets in an office. This now brings us to our last point, which are the accessories. So what you'll want to do is try to add a personalized touch to your home office. You can have picture frames, a clock, a calendar, or really whatever you'd like. Ideally, you'll want to have something that takes you to a happy place, like vacation pictures, for instance. But you'll also want to include organizing tools like a calendar or a bulletin board. Many people also place their vision boards close to them so that they don't lose sight of what they would like to achieve. Now, the layout with all of the items that we spoke about throughout this video is summarized right here. So use this visual as a starting point. Chances are your home will have a room or a spot that's slightly different than this one, and you may already have some of the items that we mentioned, but what's really important here is to be aware of all of the items that will make your workplace more relaxing, safer, and of course will make you much more efficient. I hope that this information was helpful to you. For more resources, visit our website at www.azconsulting-sp.com. Thank you.